What is poppin', YouTube? Back again with another video, another live stream. I say another, like we've been doing a bunch. We have not been doing a bunch of live streams. So boys, it is good to be back. It's good to be back with you. We've improved the setup just a little bit. So I hope you guys have been appreciating the content. We're trying to put it out fairly consistently. I know some of you were a little bit upset with how it happened last year, but to no avail. We're coming back in hot, like, I don't know, like me. I think I'm hot. So anyway, we're going to be getting into this mock draft, but let us first hit that intro. So let us jump into this mock draft. We got a bunch of people in here all ready to go. And so without further ado, let us start this draft. So Christian McCaffrey going off at the 101. It is full PPR. It is full PPR, boys. And I'm on the clock. And this is like the easiest selection ever. I chose the 102 in hopes that I would be able to get Jamar Chase if Justin Jefferson went off the board first. But no, Justin Jefferson falls to me. Shout out to Brandon, who is in this draft. We had a really great conversation about how much we love Justin Jefferson. So Justin Jefferson is my 101 this year. Oh, and shout out to my man Hurricane in here drafting as well. He is what a catch. And shouting out the haircut. You know, my barber did a good job. Shout out to Ethan here in Warsaw, Indiana. The shop. So if you guys live anywhere in the Indiana area, it gives the best haircuts for $20. Anyway, after I didn't get a cut from that too, just so we know, I do not have an affiliate link. So after I drafted Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase off the board, like I said, I think for me, I'm easily going Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase as my 101, 102. And then that's where the conversation happens between Christian McCaffrey. And it looks like Brandon, who I just hyped up for being here, is gonna auto. It goes Bijan, which is fine. But let me give him a shout out. But yeah, it's a little crazy in the streets. Bijan Robinson at 105. I'm still taking, to be completely honest, how my most ideal draft would go, I'm still taking Tyreek Hill and Cooper Kupp over Bijan Robinson. I am a Bijan believer. I mean, all you guys know that because if you've been watching my content, you know I absolutely love Bijan Robinson. I would take Bijan, Cooper Kupp, and Tyreek Hill over Travis Kelce, Jordo. But I also understand the discrepancy that happens there. After Cooper Kupp goes off the board, we have Austin Eckler, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Nick Chubb, and Saquon Barkley. Boys, let me know. It just feels like this year, even if I'm talking like half, I know we're playing full PPR, so like the wide receivers are bumped up just a little bit. But even if we're talking purely like 0.5, half point PPR, I feel like I'm still taking the majority of these wide receivers over the running backs. The only way that these running backs continue to get pushed up the board for me is if we're playing in standard. But I think there is a way to be talking about that while people are starting to, of course, hype up these wide receivers, these running back values are great. I mean, Saquon Barkley at 111, I mean, I would probably take Saquon Barkley over Nick Chubb, but I understand maybe Hurricane. I don't know if you're a Browns fan. But starting off with Nick Chubb, Devontae Adams is a sure way to go. Garrett Wilson at the 202. You guys know my love for Garrett Wilson. I'm taking Garrett Wilson over A.J. Brown. I can't do CeeDee Lamb. I'll be honest. I can't do CeeDee Lamb. Not that I've soured on Garrett Wilson at all. I mean, we've seen the hype catches of Garrett Wilson in camp, but I just think for a second when I look at Garrett Wilson, it's a high upside play. It's a high upside play. So when you're able to get him in the second round, when you're able to pair him with Saquon Barkley, I absolutely love that. I mean, he's going to be your wide receiver one. But if somehow if I was able to start a draft at 12, where my brother just did, where he got CeeDee Lamb instead of drafting A.J. Brown, get Garrett Wilson, I just feel like that's the start I want. Because I think Devontae Smith is going to eat into a ton of targets here for A.J. Brown this year. But A.J. Brown is still clearly the alpha, and the team's really good. After we had Devontae Adams, Amon-Ra, Jonathan Taylor, the fact that JT is still, Hurricane, bro. I don't know. Browns, what Browns? True. JT is in the second round. Kind of crazy. And I'm back up on the clock. We got some running backs available that we could draft. We also got some wide receivers we like. Okay. Who do I want here? I mean, I think I'm confident in my ability to draft a later round wide receiver. There were some wide receivers I liked, but we'll see if my plan gets to unfold before my eyes. Brandon is back. My bad on just my pronunciation. Hope that gave you a laugh out there in the audience with my inability to speak. But I really do like Josh Jacobs. I think a lot of people are down on Josh Jacobs. I think I've been a little bit lower compared to his RB4 finish last season. The thing to me with Josh Jacobs is that team is about to be so bad. like we know it's going to be bad. Devontae Adams is going to eat, and they're going to just have weapons that need to get the ball. And Josh Jacobs is going to be that. They're going to be down a lot. So hopefully that increases the PPR receptions and everything like that. Hurricane says Devontae Adams feels like a major value when he just showed us they can be an elite producer with mid quarterback play. Yeah, I don't even care who the quarterback is, honestly. Like Devontae Adams has proven that he is just that elite. And here, I mean, the play is to go Jalen Hurts. But do we wait on there is yeah, we're just gonna go Jalen Hurts. I think this is my strategy right now, as it stands currently with the current ADP landscape, is to get your top two players, whether it's two wide receivers or a wide receiver and a running back in the first 2 rounds. And then if you have that shot to get, there's only 3 guys in the beginning of the 3rd round that I'm looking to take. It's Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Jalen Hurts. If one of those 3 guys is there, you just take them. The advantage that you get on a points per game basis is insane. I mean, we all know that, but just I've never been one to be like, yes, let me get my elite quarterback in the 2nd or 3rd round. I don't think I can pull it in the 2nd, but if it happens to fall to me in the beginning of the 3rd, if that's where I'm drafting from, then I'm very much happy to do it. Because I do think there is a pretty big differential between like Jalen Hurts and even if we're talking just like Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, those kind of that next tier of guys. But I do really like some Lamar Jackson. So I could have potentially waited until the 4th to get Lamar Jackson. I just haven't seen him fall that far. After Jalen Hurts, we had Marky Boy Andrews, T. Higgins, Jahmyr Gibbs, Ramondre Stevenson, Calvin Ridley, and Breece Hall. Oh, do I love me some Calvin Ridley. And I love me some Calvin Ridley before that training hype video came out this week, which was super exciting. So if you saw that video, of course, Calvin Ridley has risen up in ADP about 10 spots since that moment. Not actually, but I think getting Calvin Ridley in the 3rd feels really good. For our man Mike over here with Austin Eckler, Jalen Waddle, and Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley at the 3-7. I mean, if Calvin Ridley turns into, like a high wide receiver 1, you're going to be laughing about taking him in the 3rd because that's honestly like a league winning upside type shot player. And I realize this is a little zoomed out. So let me zoom it in a little bit more here for us in the audience. So after Calvin Ridley, we had Breece Hall, Travis Etienne, Keenan Allen. Maybe I zoomed it in too much. Najee Harris off the board. I got a ton of flack for Najee Harris. I came back around on Keenan Allen. So Keenan Allen, Hurricane, I came back around on Keenan Allen. I was dumb. I made a video talking about how you should let your idiot dummy league mates draft Keenan Allen. I literally made a video like 5 days later after I did a lot more research, in-depth research, because I was like, it didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right bashing Keenan Allen. I mean, he gets injured every year, but I just couldn't do that. So Keenan Allen is in my favors. Najee Harris is not in my favors. And a lot of people are saying the volume is going to be there. Shout out to my man, Heavy on Twitter, but Heavy Hitter Rob, going absolutely hammer RB here with Saquon, Najee Harris, and Joe Mixon. I'll be honest, not a fan of Najee Harris and Joe Mixon, but to be fair, they probably are going to be getting that type of volume. So we will go with that. Lamar Jackson at the 4-1 to my brother, absolutely going heavy wide receiver. We're literally going 0 RB here. Which I think is interesting. A lot of people that would probably, like, I know my brother's probably never gone 0 RB in his life, but this is the year that your league mates, that I know he does a lot of dynasty leagues. So shout out Eli here watching this. But a lot of people like just don't do, they just aren't used to it. And it's starting to happen a lot more in your home league. So I'm sure you're going to start to see that as it becomes a little bit more mainstream. My favorite strat from the 102 is JJ Chase. Then I get a top 3 quarterback and best scale player available. Yeah, maybe tell me, Hurricane, do you think Josh Jacobs in the 2nd, was that the right choice for me? Or would you have taken someone else? Shout out Dynasty Life, my man. We need to do something together. Know we've been talking about it for a long time. Yeah, dude, appreciate you tuning in. But after Lamar Jackson, Joe Mixon, Amari Cooper, Kenneth Walker, DeAndre Hopkins, and Aaron Jones. Woo, DeAndre Hopkins. I get it. He's in Tennessee. When he's been on the field, he's an elite level producer. Ooh, I mean, just shot in the heart to my dynasty shares of Treylon Burks on that move. And then also just, I can't seem to get behind. I love me some Ryan Tannehill. I've been saying Ryan Tannehill's been a buy. He's been underrated this whole offseason. And I think it's great for Ryan Tannehill. DeAndre Hopkins, I think I prefer Deebo Samuel. I prefer Aaron Jones, T.J. Hawkinson, all these guys over DeAndre Hopkins. So I don't think I'm going to end up with a lot of Hopkins, but I also could see in a way that this is just going to burn me. Because he's it's not the argument that he's an old wide receiver. I still think he has 1 to 2 years of solid fantasy football production left. But those are kind of my thoughts there with DeAndre Hopkins. If you guys are new to the channel, appreciate you guys so much for tuning in here tonight. having fun. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're a returner to the channel, hit that like button. It helps me out so much. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 500 subs before the time the NFL season rolls around. Hurricane coming back in. Whoa, I'm on the clock. Oh, goodness. Okay, let's hope my guy falls back to me. Drake London at the 411. We feel pretty good about it. We feel pretty good about Drake London at the 411. Hurricane, let me get back to what you were saying. You were saying 0 RB thesis for people who don't like it. You have to get elite onesies. Yeah. Essentially, this is where we're at. You're pretty much drafting. You might draft a running back, I would say, between rounds like 6 and rounds 8 would probably be the first time, like running back, and then you're also hammering it. It's definitely not ideal. Especially like if you're playing in like shallower leagues where you can probably pick up. And shout out to Trevor. I was freaking hoping DJ Moore would fall to me with my next pick, but he doesn't. And so we're back on the board here. None of the running backs I'm a fan of. Tight ends, interesting. I could go George Kittle here. I'd feel pretty good about that tight end spot, but I think we're going to go wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy, Michael Pittman, and Christian Watson. We're going Jerry Jeudy here at the 5-2. Wasn't a believer. Slowly starting to become one. Jerry Jeudy at the 5-2. But Hurricane, I love your thesis. Thanks for putting that in the chat for everyone to see. So I think this is going to become a lot more mainstream. You're going to see your buddies start to do 0 RB, hoping that they can pick someone off the waiver wire, especially when you're playing in like 12-man leagues where, you know, most people are going to be quitting that aren't in playoff contention until later on in the draft. But like I said, appreciate everyone for tuning in here tonight. Having a good mock draft so far. So appreciate everyone for tuning in. Hurricane also adding another comment, says ideal 0 RB dead zone targets, J.K. Dobbins, David Montgomery, Javonte Williams. So Javonte Williams earlier this offseason was priced just ridiculous. So I was a little bit off Javonte Williams. David Montgomery, I think, is great. The touchdown upside's there. I think a lot of people are just factoring in the Jahmyr Gibbs getting first round draft capital instead of also they paid David Montgomery like a crap load of money over what Jamal Williams did last year. So I'm not saying he's going to have 20 touchdowns like Jamal Williams did last season, but I think David Montgomery definitely finishes in that where he's been finishing, like 12 to 15 touchdown range, which is going to be very productive with where you're drafting him. J.K. Dobbins scares me just a little bit. J.K. Dobbins does. I'm hesitant. I'm pumping the brakes, Hurricane, on J.K. Dobbins. But if the Baltimore Ravens offense is just absolutely efficient, we're talking top 3 offense, top 4, even with the lack of receptions that J.K. Dobbins could get, it will really play into J.K. Dobbins' overall touchdown upside, which he really hasn't had over the last few seasons. So after I draft Jerry Jeudy, we have a run of Christian Watson, Chris Godwin, Hollywood Brown of wide receivers. Then we have Justin Herbert, Justin Fields. I know Herbert just got that contract, but I'm still taking Justin Fields over Justin Herbert in my mind. Miles Sanders, Alexander Madison. Alexander Madison is the guy that the moment the Dalvin Cook got cut, everyone in your dynasty league literally put that guy on the block. But now he's a 5th round pick. And I feel like for We Too Deep, going hammer RB with, gets his top level wide receiver 1 and then just absolutely smashes running back. I mean, I don't really love Travis Etienne, Ken Walker, Alexander Madison this season. I think Travis Etienne definitely has high end potential, but can't blame the guy for getting a ton of depth. So I definitely see that. After Alexander Madison, we had a run of tight ends, George Kittle, Kyle Pitts. I was hoping that one of those guys was gonna fall to me. Not gonna lie. Kyle Pitts, I've seen go at the end of the 6th a few times. Hoping that was going to happen. Brother goes Dameon Pierce, DeAndre Swift. That is not how you do 0 RB. I would probably draft one and then draft another wide receiver just for anyone watching and listening. Michael Pittman at the 6-2 and then Tyler Lockett at the 6-3. Shout out to Brandon Blanco. If you don't follow that guy on Twitter, puts out really good stuff. Writes for IDP guys. Fantasy football guys, I totally gave you a bad little memo there, Brandon, but appreciate you for drafting here tonight. Otto with the Bijan and Patty, but I'm content with Gibbs, Hawk, and Brown. Yeah, no, I would be content with all those guys too. Darren Waller also was on my list of if worst case scenario, that's the tight end I'm going for. Off at the 6'5". If we were doing redrafts earlier this offseason, you were easily going to see Darren Waller going off the board middle of the 7th. And now the training camp hype's getting there. A lot of people are jumping in with Daniel Jones, the hype, Saquon Barkley's back. Everyone's saying that the offense is going to be better. Love Darren Waller. Dallas Goedert, Michael Williams off the board. Deontay Johnson, absolute target hog, underrated as heck. Deontay Johnson, people need to put some respect on my boy's name. 140 targets incoming for this coming season. And we'll see. We'll see. I think wide receiver 12 to wide receiver 18 is probably where he's going to end up, which a lot of people think is way too high. And so if you're one of those people, let me know in the comments. If you guys are joining the stream for the first time, appreciate you guys for tuning in here today. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to grow this channel alongside, I think, everyone else in the fantasy football industry, but we're trying to get to 500 by the time the season starts. And this is where JSN at the 6'11", there were some running backs that I definitely like that I think are going to fall back to me. So Trevor, don't snipe me. But JSN, I'm an Ohio State Buckeye fan. I saw what JSN did. I saw the draft capital. I know people are scared of DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. Don't be. I think there's going to be plenty of targets in the Seattle Seahawks offense to go around. And even if there's not, JSN's going to cut into somebody. I don't know if it's going to be DK. Don't know if it's going to be Tyler Lockett. But the fact that I think Tyler Lockett went ahead of my JSN, crazy. I'm taking JSN over Tyler Lockett each and every day. And I'm back on the clock. Cam Akers was a target of mine that I was hoping for. But here, we don't know. We need a running back. Let's see, wide receiver wise. Actually, there's some wide receivers that I like. So we're gonna keep just smashing wide receiver. We're going Jordan Addison at 7-2. We're just gonna hit the rookie wide receivers. I think this is the perfect range where either Jordan Addison or JSN is going to turn into an absolute monster. So my brother, I just saw him call me out in the sleeper chat. So if you guys can see that Caleb can't speak, clearly I can't speak today, but that was 11 minutes ago. So get off my back. Get off my back. Brandon, I'm more scared for Tyler and DK as opposed to being scared for Jay. Exactly. You don't draft someone in the first round and then expect for that to have, like, it's going to hurt him. No, it's going to affect everyone else. And so I do love some JSN this year. And I think if this draft proves anything, like if you do go heavy RB from the beginning, like you definitely can make it work with some of these later round, like you're living on a prayer a little bit when you're talking, like if let's say I had gone 2 running backs here, and then I had between Drake London, Jerry, those 4 wide receivers, like I still feel good, but I wouldn't feel as good as what I do here with having that Justin Jefferson absolutely cemented in. But great wide receiver depth, depending on the room that you're playing. If you're playing some of these underdog drafts, wide receiver goes off early. After I drafted Jordan Addison, we had Trevor Lawrence, Alvin Kamara, Mike Evans, Rashad White, Treylon Burks. I just can't do it, boys. I just can't do it. I can't do it with Treylon Burks. Dalvin Cook at the 7-8, Deshaun Purvey Watson 7-9, and David Montgomery at the 7-10. I will say this. I am all in on Deshaun Watson. Now, we can say what we want about this man's personal life. I think he's going to bounce back. If anything shows us that last year was more of the outlier than the previous 4 seasons of his career where he was top 5 quarterback, I think he's going to prove a lot of people are wrong. I think in your dynasty leagues, it's still kind of the time to go see if you can buy low on Deshaun Watson, because right now he's going at like the beginning of the second round of dynasty startups. Definitely see if Deshaun Watson is someone to target, but in redraft, I do like when you're able to address the whole team and then get Deshaun in the 7th. It does feel really good. Like I said, David Montgomery at 7-10, Isaiah Pacheco with the 7-11, Jahan Dotson, Pat Freiermuth. There's some Pat Freiermuth bandwagoners and that are all up on Pat Freiermuth. They're saying this guy is the next big tight end. Pat Freiermuth's in that category for me where I'm just willing, because I think Deontay, I think George Pickens, we've been talking about this. Here we are. Hurricane saying the exact same thing. I think Freiermuth is in that same category as some tight ends that are behind him. Like I'm taking Evan Ingram over Pat Freiermuth each and every day of the week. But I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to wait until the 10th, 9th round to get a tight end. Because I think if you can't get one of the elite guys, like we're talking the Mark Andrews, the Travis Kelce, this isn't in order. Kyle Pitts, depending on who you talk to, could or could not be least. TJ Hawkinson, like those guys, then I'm just punting tight end. I'm addressing each and every other position. Hurricane, I think Jason needs more than DK. Yep. Totally with you. But like I said, we're having a full draft. We're having great people in the chat. So appreciate everyone for tuning into this live. We haven't done one of these in a minute. So we're going to be getting back to doing these fairly consistently. Actually, pretty consistently. That's my goal. We're putting out regular type of content videos. So hope that you guys can engage with that. Check those out if you haven't already. And the big thing is we're trying to win some fantasy football championships and just have fun. So trying to continue to build up this community. Antonio Gibson at the 8-10. Joey, I think you watch my videos because you know good and well I love me some Antonio Gibson. Still some solid quarterbacks on the board. Looking at wide receiver, tight end. Oh goodness. Dalton Schultz, Cole Kmet just got the thing, but I'm gonna wait another round because I'm fairly confident in where I'm at. I need another running back, and I guess we're gonna slap on AJ Dillon. Don't love it. I was hoping I was gonna get me some Antonio Gibson, but something happens to Aaron Jones. AJ Dillon is there, and this is kind of I went more hero RB with my build. I don't love it. I probably should have snagged instead of Jordan Addison, maybe gone Kamara. But I just thought Jordan Addison was great value there. And we're showing too much of people still to draft. But appreciate everyone for tuning in here tonight. And we're about to be back on the clock once Trevor drafts. Also, we've tried to improve audio quality. We've tried to improve visual. So let me know too if how that's all coming through, because I haven't been able to actually check on my end. So, and we are back up on the clock. And we're gonna take no, we're gonna continue to punt. We'll go Zachy Charbonnet, high upside shot as an RB3. And my man Heavy showing up in the chat. What up, dude? Appreciate you being here. This is heavy hitter Rob picking from the 111. He says, Kalos, between an old reliable Brandon Cooks or new shining toy Quentin Johnson, what do you think? Great question. I think for me, I'm definitely a Quentin Johnson guy. And the reason I'm a Quentin Johnson guy is because same exact reason. Keenan Allen is absolutely elite. Mike Williams, when he is super boomer bust. And if we've seen anything the last few seasons, both of them, the odds of both of them playing all 16 games, super slim. So I think Quentin Johnson, even though, so he's wide receiver 3, but I think by the time we're talking midseason, we're talking definitely about him as wide receiver 2. And I think there's an argument to be made that he could be the wide receiver 1 on the Chargers. And you're going to just getting great value, just absolutely getting great value. Like when you're able to get him in the 8th round, feels great. I would be taking him, like if Jordan Addison was off the board, I'm taking Quentin Johnson over Treylon Burks. I'm taking Quentin Johnson over Jahan Dotson. Mike Evans, I think it's just a good old reliable Mike Evans. So I can't do that to Mike Evans, but I would definitely take, especially on this part of the draft, I'm taking the shot on a Quentin Johnson. As much as Brandon Cooks, he gives you very solid wide receiver 2 production in like a redraft format, I feel a lot easier getting that type of production on the waiver wire and taking those high upside swings at Quentin Johnson. Shout out Trevor for giving me a little hype. Hype me up in the chat. Felt like the cat with the red eyes was a little unnecessary, but you do you. Hurricane, rookies are cheat codes. We know that Cooks is. KJ is borderline. A flex play and has a ton of upside to expand his roles as the year goes on. Bro. Like I said, Hurricane, we need to have you on stream one of these days, because it's like you're just like typing out my exact thoughts most of the time. Sometimes we disagree, but I would say that's only like 10% of the time. Plus, he's a fun player to watch. Yes, super fast, super big, super elite, just solid wide receiver. So let's get back into what happened. So we have P. Ryan at the 9-3, Juju at the 9-4, Elijah Moore. I'm taking Elijah Moore over Juju. Sorry, Jordan. At the 9-4, Elijah Moore, Gabe Davis, Zay Flowers. I'm taking Zay Flowers over Gabe Davis. Probably actually taking Zay Flowers, Elijah Moore over Juju and Gabe Davis. Jamal Williams, Cortland Sutton at the 9-9. I am not a Cortland Sutton believer. I will have very little Cortland Sutton. I will take other guys around him. Alan Lazard potentially could be the wide receiver 2. I know people are hyping up the fact that Alan Lazard could be the wide receiver 1. The New York Jets. Ain't happening. Dak Prescott at the 9-11, A-Chain at the 9-12, and then J-Mo. My man placed a bet on a college football game, and just think about all of us young boys. I'm saying young boys, young men, guys 18 to 30. What do? We invest in some underdog drafts. We have some fun on the weekends. And by doing that, that's exactly what J-Mo did and got slapped. He didn't do a Calvin Ridley, so he didn't get a full season. I just think they need to address it. They need to address it. The rule need to be stated a little bit better because we have like 6-game suspension, and like I can think of other guys that actually do like harm in society, and they do not get 6 games. So we need to have some better NFL. We all know it's a little bit messed up because clearly we've seen that with the running backs. But they just need to figure that out. Figure that out, NFL. Appreciate it. To all 10 viewers right now, appreciate you guys having some fun on this Wednesday night as you're just chilling. Know there's some other channels that are about to start up that are bigger. So appreciate you guys for tuning in here tonight, just drafting, hanging out, having some fun. So like I said, if this is the first time on the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Any little bit helps. We're on our goal to get to 500 subs. So we're at like 400 something. So help me join the community, help me get in those mock drafts. That's where if you guys see it, like I posted on my Twitter, I posted on YouTube, so that you guys are all aware. Kendra Miller to 10-5. I love that Davey got both of them. I think that is key. There for Davey. Do love Jamal Williams. Do essentially love Kendra Miller this season. Sky Moore at the 10-4. Sky Moore. I just traded Sky Moore in a league for Calvin Ridley. And it's a dynasty league. There was more pieces involved in that, but that was essentially the trade. A lot of people are high on Sky Moore. I'm borderline high, but I guess taking a late round shot here. Rashad Bateman at the 10-7. Do love me some Adam Thielen. I think a lot of people are underestimating Adam Thielen in the Carolina Panthers offense. High volume. Anthony Richardson at the 9. Shout out to Jordo, getting his backup quarterback with elite level upside. And we are here on the board. And we're going to take, I need a running back. I had to blink. Elijah Mitchell, welcome to the squad. Hopefully CMC goes down. Not actually, because I'm going to have him on plenty of rosters. But I think Elijah Mitchell, a lot of people don't know the splits because we haven't necessarily seen CMC and Elijah Mitchell on the same team. I mean, granted, I think in my heart of hearts, CMC is going to get 65, 70% of the touches. But even if so, they're still about going to be like 30% of the work. But can anyone actually trust Kyle Shanahan? I mean, granted, we're seeing what's happening with Brock Purdy. We're seeing what's happening with Trey Lance. Who's not to say that somehow Elijah Mitchell has a really good camp and they're a little bit worried and they want, they're wanting CMC to make it throughout the season. So they just say, hey, Elijah Mitchell, you're getting, 38, 36, 38, 40% of the touches in the backfield. I think that would be great. So we're going to take our first tight end. Just kind of just depends on how you view it. Greg Dulcich for me. A lot of people are off. My man, Greg Dulcich, three-legged Greg, but I am all in on him. Let me catch up on these pictures. So I want to JMO to not be so we can clog up other teams' rosters and push even more value down to me. Hurricane, dude. JMO, I do like JMO in Dynasty and a redraft. It's a little interesting. Trevor, we're shirtless Jordan. Jordan's drafting with us, but he's not shirtless. I'll say this. If we get to 1,000 subs by the time the season starts, I will force Jordan. I will actually go kidnap Jordan, bring him onto stream, and put him on shirtless. So shout out to all of you guys for contributing to that effort. Hurricane, miss me with that pure deep threat archetype for a draft. Yeah. I like volume. I mean, I think anyone likes volume. So, oh my goodness, Mr. P. Tizzle. Yo, remember me from last year. Boys. You guys, like, my channel's not big. Like, we're growing. We're getting bigger. You guys are, like, the foundation pieces of this channel. Do you think I remember? Yes. I remember you, Mr. P. Tizzle. I'm glad you're back. We're going to be doing a lot more of these. So make sure, of course, that you're subscribed. I know you're subscribed so that you can get in these mock drafts with us. You can have fun. We can enjoy. We can just have a good time because like we're going to be doing a ton of AMAs. We're going to be putting out the weekly rankings. We're going to absolutely crush this fantasy football season. And it all starts now. Because honestly, what other 10 I guess 11, if I can do math, are just hanging out on a Wednesday night talking fantasy football. Not many of us. So after I drafted good old three-legged Greg, we had Jerick McKinnon, Tyler Algier, Dalton Schultz, Rashee Rice, Kirk Cousins, Roshan Johnson, Nico Collins, Jacoby Myers, Mingo, and Romeo Doubs off the board. What pick do I like the best in this? Kirk Cousins, absolutely. I mean, dude finishes as a top 12, top 10 quarterback like year after year. It's not flashy. I mean, if any of us, we've watched the quarterback series on Netflix, it's not flashy. It's like the farthest thing from flashy. He's got the weapons though to like rely on. And I think that's what makes me really excited about Kirk Cousins. The team's going to be pretty good. And as much as like the Dalvin Cook signing hurts the overall offense, and we think Alexander Mattison can hold up to a whole workload, even if he can't necessarily, maybe they just up the pass attempts just a little bit. And Kirk Cousins, I mean, the Minnesota Vikings, they were already a top 12 passing offense. So if that happens, boom, bada boom, loving Mr. Kirk. Heavy hitter Rob went with Mingo, high upside, second round draft pick to Carolina Panthers. Don't necessarily know what that's going to be. Hunter Renfrow at the 12 too. Shout out to my brother for drafting a kicker. I forgot I did put kickers and defense in this. So, we're just having fun with that. Hunter Renfrow, there was reports that he might get dropped or cut. And if that happens and Hunter Renfrow were to land on a better team, that would be exciting for Hunter Renfrow. So like that late round shot, Geno Smith as a 12-3. Which Geno are we getting? Are we getting last year Geno? Are we getting the previous 5-year Geno? And that to me is a little interesting. Jaylen Warren, like the, the upside that if something were to happen to Najee Harris, Zeke, we still don't know where he signed. Tank Bigsby definitely is going to eat into Travis Etienne's workload more than we would like in the fantasy football community. But is there such thing as a workhorse running back anymore? I mean, yes, there is, but there's not as many as there used to be. And we used to say there's not many a few years ago. Now there's definitely not. But I do like Tank Bigsby. I think a lot of people, he's just going to keep Travis Etienne more fresh. And when we saw Travis Etienne at his best, honestly, was when he was splitting touches with James Robinson. A lot of people don't like to hear that, but I think keeping Travis Etienne fresh throughout the season is going to be very important. We got Daniel Jones at the 12-8. do like some Daniel Jones. I hate that he let me get this off the screen. I do like that Daniel Jones got the contract. I do like that he had some solid production last season. Granted, yes, I mean Saquon Barkley earned him that contract, but there's nothing new there. Tajay Spears off the board. We got one more pick before it comes to me, and this is like my last actual pick. You know, do I draft another position? Do I draft a quarterback? I mean, looks like there's going to be plenty to hit the waivers. So at this point, this is probably where I'm taking just another position. Greg Dulcich as my only tight end feels a little risque. I'm going with Sam Laporta, and not that I don't like Cole Kmet, because I do like Cole Kmet. I think the Bears passing offense is going to be better. I just think when you're having DJ Moore, you have Chase Claypool, you have Darnell Mooney, it's hard for me to see Cole Kmet get a ton of touches. So Sam Laporta is getting a ton of buzz out of camp. I think he could end up as a rookie tight end one. I think he could end up as an actual tight end one, which is great. So do I draft defense or kicker? Someone let me know. Shout out to Heavy McPherson, best pick of the year. Michael, wait, let me answer your question, Michael, here in a second. I'm going Carlson. No, I like the butt kicker. Best pick of the draft so far. That's my brother. He's a Bengals fan. So, it's just, there's nothing better than seeing Evan McPherson trot out there. You're down, it's a Monday night game. You're down by 1 point and you see your kicker trotting out there in a fantasy football matchup. You're like automatic. You're like, I'm winning. Same thing as like Justin Tucker. Same exact feeling. Michael, I'm going to love Tank eating into ETN. Michael, you got a lot of Tank Bigsby. You don't like ETN? Let me know, Michael. Or Michael, are you in this draft? Oh, wait, hold on. Are you in this draft? I don't know. Michael, is this your first time on the channel? Appreciate you being here, my guy. But we're gonna keep it rolling. So let me know. Heavy, had no idea Renfro was getting cut. What would be a good landing spot for him? So I heard it was a rumor. I don't know. It's like an actual thing. I mean, it seems pretty set in stone that that's going to be something that's going to happen with Renfro. I mean, spots where you could land, that would be good. I think he just really fits into that like Tyler Boyd type role. Like if he could go, I think the Eagles would be an interesting one. Trying to think of spots off the top of my head. Dallas already has some wide receivers. Definitely not New England. Definitely not Tennessee. Maybe Baltimore would be an interesting one. I mean, I know they have Zay. I know they have OBJ, but like Rashad Bateman, there's some question marks there. I think he could get some instant playing time on the Ravens. I don't know how he fits into that locker room. I don't know how he fits into that culture. Could go to Carolina. Carolina needs some slot wide receivers. Doesn't need to go to New England, or not New England. Doesn't need to go to the New York Jets or the New York Giants. The Giants have like 8 slot receivers already, so definitely not the Giants. Michael, yeah, oh goodness. Mike, I appreciate you jumping in here, dude. I don't know if you've been on the channel before, but appreciate you tuning in here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as always. For everyone here, appreciate everyone for watching and tuning in. But those are some spots. So after we had the run of kickers, defenses, Darnell Mooney, Devin Singletary, Cowboys, Carlson, Patriots. Yeah, you know what? I was an idiot, and I put it too long. I put this like 2 rounds too long. But I did that on purpose because I honestly missed you boys. I just wanted to hang out, wanted to talk ball, because it doesn't happen enough. Heavy with the Cincy defense night. Yeah, he knew. I made one comment about the Cincinnati team, and he said, no, can't do. Can't let that happen. My brother drafts Jalen Hyatt. I don't even think Jalen Hyatt's making the roster. I really don't. I've been on some streams with Tyler. If you see him on Twitter, and Tyler, who lives in New York, has heard that he doesn't think Jalen Hyatt's making the team. Now, Jalen Hyatt was drafted, what, third round? Yeah, middle third. So I can't imagine that he gets dropped. So he'd have to perform like so bad for that to happen. But yeah, we're finishing out this draft slowly but surely. 38 minutes is kind of crazy. Maybe as we get closer into closer to the season, we might start doing we'll run 2 drafts. We'll run draft as we continue to grow the community, but not tonight. We're only one. Let's do a few other shows. Oh, Michael, appreciate you. It's different. It's definitely different. Making full-time video content versus doing just lives. I enjoy the lives. I love interacting. I love answering questions. It feels a lot more conversational compared to when I'm making a 5-minute video. It feels like I'm just ranting. And so I have to pick stuff that I'm passionate about. But then it comes back to bite you. The YouTube comments are absolutely nasty. So I appreciate all the love in these chats, but you are allowed. You're allowed to come at me heavy hitter Rob, heavy, come at me heavy, So Raheem Mostert, I just saw him actually drop to waivers in like 2 of my dynasty leagues, and I thought that's interesting. I think Raheem Mostert has a lot more upside than a lot of people think. So we got to decide here. We need a defense. I need some people in the chat. I need the people in the chat right now to comment because it's not going to come around. Who should I draft with my defense? Who should I draft with my defense pick here? I mean, I feel like the Jets feel pretty good. Steelers pretty good. Seahawks, I think the answer is the Jets. I mean, I think they're just young enough. You got Sauce. You got some young linebackers. You got they just signed their D tackle to a big deal. Chiefs. Okay, Hurricane, whatever. I will do it for you. Is there a reason you said the Chiefs defense? I know I'm going to stream defense. Like in my redraft leagues, like I always stream defense because I never end up picking like the right one. Like, and I never pick up. It's like I always have the option to select a defense. I don't. And then it's like the year that New England Patriots average like 10 fantasy points per game, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So do we want to do grades? Would we like to do some grades here on this fine evening? So if we're reviewing what happened in this draft, there was some good, solid first round. I think the one player that I was questionable about was Jordan. I was questionable about Travis Kelce at 1-4, CMC at 101. I just can't do it. When a full PPR, just can't do it. If we're talking standard, we're talking half point, I could see it. But Justin Jefferson to me is like the clear 101. So being at the 102, being able to snag that up felt great. Austin Eckler over Tyreek Hill. Austin Eckler has been an RB1 year after year after year. So I see that. But yeah, I mean, who wants a grade? Does anyone want a grade? Oh, who won? Who won the draft? Well, I could give you a quick little grade here, heavy hitter. We got Saquon Barkley. I think we said before, I would have preferred a start of like if you would have drafted CeeDee Lamb and Garrett Wilson. I think that would have been the start I wanted. Knowing that then you got Najee Harris and Joe Mixon, that would have been the start I wanted. But Saquon Barkley I also very much so love. We then had Kyle Pitts, Michael Pittman, Isaiah Pacheco, Brandon Cooks, Dak Prescott as your QB1. Underrated, but in the ninth, that does feel really good. Maybe I will be doing a lot more late round quarterbacks because really, if you don't get those top three, and Justin Fields or Lamar, you're kind of just like waiting. Like I think Dak finishes very close to Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence, and Tua. Yeah, I like it. I give it a B plus. I give it a B plus. Kyle Pitts in the late fifth feels great. Shout out Hurricane there. We're talking Chiefs, I guess. Is okay, cool. We want grades. Yeah, we gave you. Yeah, heavy. I gave you B plus. Michael will take a grade. Ooh, here we go. Michael, you're not gonna like me, so keep that. Like, leave the stream. Just don't unsubscribe. Austin Eckler, Jalen Waddle, Calvin Ridley. Okay. I think we went. It's hard for me to draft Austin Eckler at the 1-7. It just is. Not over Tyreek Hill. Like if those guys were off the board, I mean, I'm taking Travis Kelce ahead of Austin Eckler, but the conversation happens. Are we taking Bijan Robinson or are we taking Austin Eckler? And for me, I'm taking Bijan just because I love Bijan. I think, but then it's still like Bijan's unknown. Austin Eckler's proven it like at the highest level. So that is what it is. Jalen Waddle, I don't love Jalen Waddle, but at the same time, like who are you going to draft? I mean, he was at the end of a tier. Do like me some Calvin Ridley. I like that pick. Aaron Jones. I don't necessarily love Aaron Jones, but I mean, what were you going to do? You wanted another running back. If you would have waited another round, you would have ended up with Miles Sanders. Justin Fields, love that as your QB1. Dallas Goedert, I probably would have drafted another position here and waited on tight end. I think there's just a lot of mouths to feed with the Eagles. Now you are banking on that touchdown upside, but I just 6'6". There were some other guys. I think I'm still taking Darren Waller over Dallas Goedert. Not still, like last year was still got Dallas Goedert over Darren Waller, but I'm warming up to Darren Waller quite a bit. Treylon Burks, I just don't like Treylon Burks. Mike, I'm just being honest. I don't. Shout out to Jordan in the chat. Traded a first in Dynasty for 2024. Absolutely fleeced you, Jordan. James Cook, this was like 2 weeks ago before the DeAndre Hopkins signing. James Cook at the 8-6, Zay Flowers, Adam Thielen, Kirk Cousins. I do love me some Kirk. Tank Bigsby. You build out. You definitely know how to draft, Mike. That's 100% sure. I'm giving it just. It's not like a. It's like a B. It's not a B plus. It's just a B. But when you're in those middle rounds, you're really just banking on one of those guys really turning into upside because when you're you're kind of in the middle. You have to deal with runs and all sorts of natures and things along that nature. Hurricane, grade me without bias. Okay, shout out to Hurricane. There's no bias here. Nick Chubb at the 110. I just don't like Nick Chubb. But I also understand you went hero RB with Nick Chubb. I know you do this quite a bit where you go hero RB. So I probably would have taken Saquon over Nick Chubb, honestly, but I see the volume. I see the argument to taking Nick Chubb. Devontae Adams, absolutely love Devontae Adams. I think we've talked about it enough. Keenan Allen, I've warmed up significantly on Keenan Allen, so those two picks make up for your first pick. Amari Cooper at the 4-3. I think if you were here when we were talking in the 7th round, we were talking about how I love me some Deshaun Watson this season. So do love me some Amari Cooper. We got George Kittle at the 5-10. I was hoping one of these guys would fall back. So you do get, I think George Kittle's being a little underrated as a tight end. I think he's he's kind of in his own tier, in my opinion, because okay, he's not, he's not Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, TJ Hawkins. Like it's Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, like TJ Hawkinson, you might be able to put in the Mark Andrews tier. But then that like next tier down is definitely George Kittle, and he's just running it by himself. Because as much as I love Kyle Pitts, he's not in that tier. But I understand the upside of what Rob you did with heavy hitter. With Kyle Pitts. Tyler Lockett, I didn't love Tyler Lockett, that pick at the 6-3, only because we talked about JSN, DK Metcalf, a lot of mouths to feed. I think JSN is going to be at least the number 2 wide receiver in targets on the Seattle, if not wide receiver 1 by the end of season. Now, you did make up for it by the David Montgomery, Javonte Williams. The fact that Javonte fell to the 8-3, criminal. That absolutely makes up for your Tyler Lockett pick. Alan Lazard, man, you were taking upside shots here. Khalil Herbert, your running backs at the end really made it up for you on the team. Unbiasedly, I'm giving this a B+. I'm giving this a B+. The only thing that could have made it an A there, Hurricane, is having a better quarterback than Geno, but you would have had to draft someone. Like if you could have maybe replaced that Tyler Lockett with Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence. At 6-3, it does feel early, but like those are things like if Deshaun Watson would have made it back to you and you would have taken him over David Montgomery, I think I would have liked your team a lot better. So that's it. Yeah, of course, we're giving out grades here tonight. Like I'm a teacher, but I'm not a teacher. My wife is. So here we are. We got Jamar Chase, Chris Olave. The fact that Jamar Chase fell to you at the 103, like we said before, shout out Trevor for just blessing us with that here tonight. Chris Olave, do love me some Chris Olave. I like when Chris Olave goes in the 3rd a little bit better, but hey, you do you. Mark Andrews. So your first 3 picks, I absolutely love. I love all those guys. I'm definitely in on all those guys. Terry McLaurin is where we start to differ. I'm not a big Terry McLaurin fan. Now, he does get an improved offensive coordinator. You're just banking on the fact that Sam Howell is going to be competent, and we haven't necessarily seen that yet, as much as a lot of people are in on the Sam Howell train. Christian Watson at the 5-3. I prefer Drake London, DJ Moore, Jerry Jeudy, and Christian Watson all over Terry McLaurin. I think the Terry McLaurin, Chris Godwin, that's a tier that you need to discuss. But I definitely do like that Christian Watson pick. Helps make up. You then get Christian Kirk and Trevor Lawrence as the stack. Very, very underrated. It is lineup, but still underrated in this type of format. Then go back-to-back running backs with Antonio Gibson, Samaje Perine. We do like that. But you did go absolutely 0 RB. Jerick McKinnon as your RB3, OBJ, Rondale Moore. And see, this is my thing. As much as I love Joey's team, I love the first 3 picks, it just you're having to hope that you either pick Antonio Gibson turns into an RB1, which I don't think is going to happen. Samaje Perine probably will give you a few RB1 weeks, but you're just banking on playing the waivers, and it's a risky business. You end up playing the waivers sometime too. Like Josh Jacobs get injured for me, and I'm playing the waivers. But I think for me, Joe, I'm giving this a B. If I could have had a better RB, I would have taken it for you. But I do like the team. I think Trevor Lawrence is criminally underrated this year. Oh, Mike's going to have to go to summer school to pass. We're talking sure smack. Heavy, man. Ooh. We too deep, question mark. Are you? Oh, okay. My boy, appreciate you being here. I don't know. Is this your first time on the channel? Appreciated drafting with you tonight and you jumping in. And we'll give my brother and Trevor a grade. We'll do it. We're just giving out grades all tonight. So we have Stephon Diggs, fire pick. Amon-Ra St. Brown, fire pick. like all the wide receivers that went. Like I understand why you're taking AJ Brown. I understand why you're taking Garrett Wilson. I understand why you're taking Devontae Adams all over Amon-Ra St. Brown. But to start with Stephon Diggs and Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm peeing my pants, honestly, boys. Peeing my pants. Great start. We then have heavy RB with Travis Etienne, Ken Walker, Alexander Madison. Okay. Brandon Ayuk, Deshaun Watson, Evan Ingram at the 8-4. I do love me some Evan Ingram at the 8-4. You get him in the 7th, 8th. We were just talking about this hurricane. Get him at the 7th, 8th turn. Feels really great. I absolutely hate the Cortland Sutton pick. Sky Moore pick kind of made up for it. Nico Collins to see the upside. Jalen Warren. We2Dude, I'm giving you, I wish I had a sound effect. Boop, boop, boop. First A of summer school goes to We2Deep. Shout out We2Deep. Love that team. Heavy. Give your brother a grade. Okay, we'll give my brother a grade. I think he's still watching it. He always says he puts me on the TV like I'm some type of like show. I'm really not a show. It's just it is what it is. We got CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, DK Metcalf. I didn't like the DK Metcalf pick, bro. Didn't like the DK Metcalf pick. You made it up with Lamar Jackson. Dameon Pierce, DeAndre Swift. I probably would have drafted a wide receiver there, Swift pick, and then waited until the next round and like drafted Javonte. That I think that would have ended a little bit better for me. But Jahan Dotson, Pat Frymuth, A-Chain, J-Mo, Dubs, he got his Bengal kicker. Eli, I'll give you a B plus. It's between a B and a B plus. So like what? Like I'd call it like a 85. 80, do we call it like an 85 or 86 a B plus anymore? I don't know. I haven't been to school in so long. Trevor did not look at scoring beforehand. Thank you for clarifying that, Trevor. Why is this popping up all weird? There we go. So let me back out just a smidge. So Trevor, we'll grade your team. So you got, but before I grade your team, heavy B plus for your brother would have been an A minus if you had gotten the Bengals defense. Preach. Hey, we're doing it for all you boys. We're doing it all for all you boys. So we got Christian McCaffrey. Okay, like we said, that would have been Justin Jefferson. Felt a little bit different. We then have Josh Allen, Devontae Smith, J.K. Dobbins, DJ Moore. I do love DJ Moore and Devontae Smith, but those as your starting wide receivers, I mean, I like Devontae Smith, but I like him a lot better in the circumstance if you would have gotten Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase here. J.K. Dobbins, Cam Akers, because like I feel like he would have been fine. Like if J.K. Dobbins and Cam Akers are my two starting running backs, but I have Justin Jefferson, I have Josh Allen, I have Devontae Smith, like I feel a lot better about it. Love me some DJ Moore. George Pickens at 7-1. Shout out to all those people that think George Pickens is better than Deontay Johnson. Not a fact. Kadarius Toney at the 8-12. Don't love me some Kadarius Toney, but I know you do. Brian, Slogger. What's the word? Just absolutely brutal. 2 to 3 yards per carry. Running back at the 9-1. Russell Wilson at the 10-12. Vladdy's not your starter. Dalton Kincaid at the 11-1. Chase Brown at the 12-2. You took some definitely late upside shots. Like I said, I'm giving you a B, Trevor, but it could have easily been a B plus if that first pick is switched. And you know what? I could, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase could really underperform this year. CMC absolutely smashes, and I look like an absolute idiot. But yeah, guys, this was a great stream. We'll definitely be doing. I think we're gonna have to look into what our streaming schedule is gonna look like this offseason. I think we're probably gonna do something like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday type schedule. But yeah, make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. It helps me out a ton. Even to just the 7 people, all 7 likes help. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because we're gonna be doing a lot more of these, and I just like hanging out with you guys, interacting in the chat. The streaming software that I'm currently using, we're actually upgrading to another software. So we're just kind of making small improvements, camera improvements, lighting improvements, little backlight improvements. Eventually, hopefully we get some type of jersey or some type of backdrop so it doesn't just look like I'm in jail with like a dim light on me. But appreciate everyone for tuning in here tonight. Any final questions? Let the jury be said before we all pop out of here. Any final questions? That awkward silence as you wait. Well, I know it's like a 5 to 10 second delay, but I appreciate all you guys for tuning in here tonight. Let's continue interacting. Let's continue building this fantasy football content. What jerseys am I getting? Great question. Heavy. We did a poll. And honestly, I'm probably going to buy some fake jerseys just so you guys know, because I'm not broke. I mean, I have the money. I just can't imagine investing it into actual jerseys. But I'm thinking of Bijan Robinson and Jamar Chase. I think those are the 2 jerseys that I landed on. And Hurricane, I haven't seen either yet. I had some family members went and saw Barbie. Had a bunch of coworkers saw Oppenheimer. I think I'm definitely on the Oppenheimer train if I had to pick a movie to see. But I've heard good things about both. But I know the Oppenheimer is like the more manly movie to say. So does anyone choose Barbie in the chat? Are you anyone choosing Barbie? Or is that just me? Not me, like I'm not actually choosing Barbie, but like is anyone choosing Barbie and wants to admit it in the chat so we can call you out? I guess I do have like that purple color behind me. Maybe I need to make it pink if I was on the Barbie train. But appreciate everyone for tuning in here tonight. Oh, yeah, Robert Downey Jr., underrated. I mean, you can't look at him and not think Iron Man, and you can't think, man, if he could have only pulled out like another Iron Man movie, but dude had to move on in his career. So just like we have to move on and just become better fantasy football players year after year. We can't keep doing the same thing and can't be robust RB. We're not the fantasy football counselor, but we're going to continue putting out great content. So like I said, appreciate all you for tuning in here today, still being here, still liking the content, still commenting. Like I said, we're going to be doing a lot more of these. So make sure you follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. Let me see. Yeah, my Twitter's right here at Nimi Caleb, so that you guys will know. I'll post before I go live, post before I draft, so you guys can get in the live. We're building up this community, and it's going to be a great thing one day. I'm super excited. It's already a great thing. I had an absolute blast tonight. So I appreciate all you guys for being the pillars of what is to come on the Caleb Nimi YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys for all being here tonight. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.